Hello, in this video we are talking about retirement home planning. I'm sure you must be planning for your retirement home at a point in time. Maybe you are 40 or 50, above 50, and you need to look at a place you want to call a home. You want to retire into a home. What are the considerations you make when making a choice in terms of buying a land, building a house of your own? You have to think of all these things so that by the time you have your home completed, you will not regret building a home in the time. So we're talking about factors to consider when before you buy and build your home, your retirement home for that matter. So if you watch this video, I'm sure you will gain a lot of tips that you need to build your retirement home. So come along with me and enjoy your video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel as you watch other videos. Like it, give it thumbs up if you are actually happy watching my videos. Yes, as I usually explain in my videos, I try to empower people in terms of income earning, in terms of retirement, in terms of letting them have a sustainable lifestyle. So let's start. Yes, number one factor you must consider when you're talking about retirement home, you must look at the size and expectation of your family. Are you having a big family? Is it only you and your spouse? You have the kids, or the kids are grown up, they've all gone their different ways into their different, they are already into their different destinies. They are in different countries. So maybe you are only living with your spouse. So what kind of home do you want to enter into? Are you expecting guests? How big are you planning? Is it going to be 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, a room and parlor, a 4 bedroom, a mansion you want to build? So we're going to look at this. So the size of family will determine the size of your home. So you must have this expectation when you are talking with your architects in designing. I'm sure you will ask some of these things. Maybe that will guide them to having to have recreational grounds for children or children coming on holiday with you. So you must have to talk about the size and the expectation of your family. Number two, talking of the topography of the land. Most people buy land in a place that will be liable to flood. So when they buy the land, there is heavy downpour. The place will be flooded. You have to look for a canoe to paddle through before they can get to their house or even get to their sitting room. And they will lose most of these things. They will lose most of their belongings. So you need to consider these factors. And it's ideal for you to go and check the land you want to build your retirement home during the rainy season. When you have the peak of the rainy season, that will be sure whether the place will be liable to flooding when it's raining. So please make a check. Don't be in a haste to buy land and just build and find that during the rainy season the place will be submerged, or maybe you are buying a land in a valley. So you must check all these things when you are buying land. Then look at the accessibility of basic amenities. Are you having the telephone network in the area? Do you have access to water? You want to seek your own borehole well, or you having electricity, or if you don't have that way without to let's say buy solar panels and have your own solar energy. So you have to consider those factors also when you are building, because of course you're talking about the budget you have. So I believe you should factor this when you are planning your retirement home. So this is very important, very crucial. So we are talking about the access to the basic amenities. So some of these, if you have the money, you can actually do them yourself. You can sink a borehole, you can buy solar panels. So that's not a big deal if that's an issue. So you are going to talk about the next factor. Yeah, the next one you have to consider is the financial status. You have to look at your income. Are you going when you are retiring? Are you having gratuity that will be coming for you to be able to sustain yourself? Because where you'll be retiring to, you have to reduce your expenses. So are you having gratuity, or you're having remittances from children abroad, or you are having an income from renting? Maybe you have some investments, you are expecting some monthly maybe payments as rent, or maybe you have some businesses that will be having monthly returns. So you have to look at that, because when you build your retirement home in a place in which you have to incur a lot of expenses in terms of maintenance, how do you sustain yourself? There are a lot of people that will build a very big house and they have problems in maintenance in terms of meeting the monthly bills. Eventually they might have to downsize, they have to sell the property and go to the village and buy a smaller property or build a place. So you have to plan all this because don't forget you are not having the normal income as it were before you retired. So we're talking of socialization, the next factor you have to consider. If you are the one that have a good social life, you like a party goer, you're always having meetings, meeting a lot of people. So you might not want to build your house in a, let's say, in a rural place. You want to be in the urban cities. And of course, you have to, that comes with another cost. You'll be spending money in terms of buying refreshments, entertainment, and what have you. But if you are the quiet, easygoing, homely type, you just might, maybe you can just decide to build your home, maybe perhaps in a more secluded area, maybe in the suburbs, the village, quiet area. It might not be the highbrow area. So you have to make these considerations. Can you adapt to this place that is quiet, or you want big, lousy places that be noisy? And of course, don't forget you are retiring. At that certain age, you might not want to adapt to such noisy environment. So you have to think of that. And you look at the cost of living. It's also associated with the social life. The cost of living, we are talking about the foods, talking of the maybe transportation, well, electricity, and what have you. So you have to check all this, factor it by the time you are planning your retirement home. Then the last one, you have to look at your health status. If you are planning to retire, maybe you have underlying health issues. Maybe you have something that has to do, maybe you are allergic to some areas, maybe dust. So you must check this. So that if that place is polluted, you don't build your house in an area that maybe the area is nearer, maybe a dumping site, or maybe you're always burning waste, or maybe industrial, there's a manufacturing company there, is always very noisy, making those noise pollution, dumping waste, the place is always coming with different smells. So you check before you buy the land. You don't buy a land where you have problems later and you'll be complaining. So you have to check all this, make your findings, and maybe if you know maybe you are vulnerable to sicknesses, you must be near the hospital. You build a place where you can be nearer to the hospital, or maybe you have access to medical attention. So you have to make a consideration of this. You have to sit down, plan. So I believe these are few tips that can guide you when you are considering retirement and you are planning the retirement home. So if you enjoy this, like my video, subscribe to my channel, share it, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.